Umbrella Academy is back for season two. This is almost a reboot of the first season. Five is once again on a mission to save the world. The other members of the Umbrella Academy aren't that keen on helping him, and on top of that, number five, he has to go around finding people and convincing them to help stop the end of the world, and he's got 5 days to do so. So we kind of get the basic outline of what's going to happen. 10 he's close, or 5 has 10 days. The Soviets are going to attack the US, and also they are going to bomb the US with nukes. So all of the members of the Umbrella Academy are all split up. They all came back in time at separate points in time, ranging from 1960 to 1963. They're all off doing their own thing. And number five, he not only does he only have 10 days, but he's got to run around Dallas trying to track all these people down and then on top of it, convince them to help him stop the end of the world. So in this episode, we really got that premise. We saw Hazel die. Hazel just seemed like he was there as our vehicle for the plot, which kind of sucks because he was kind of a cool character last season. He kind of had his whole story arc with being part of the commission, and then sort of turning his back on the commission, falling in love, and that was sort of his story. Like he was like one of the better characters last season, and he shows up in like the first few minutes of season two, helps out five, gives five the briefcase for time traveling, then gets shot by our supposed bad guys, which are just three very quiet dudes with bad wigs. And they're a little weird. They're like if you got like a cartoon caricature of the Children of the Corn, it's like they have the vibe, but they just not quite the same. And that hair, it's just not intimidating. It just isn't. And like they're just three dudes. So I don't know who they are, what their goal is, what their plan is, or how they're going to play into the end of the world, but they're hunting down the members of the Umbrella Academy. They went after five, they went after Diego, and I'm sure they will try to hunt down the rest in due time. So let's kind of check in with our main characters. We have Vanya. She was one of the big leads. I mean, she's the big name actress played by Ellen Page, and in this season she's kind of just a babysitter. She's living with a family, helping them out. She's got no memories, doesn't understand why no one's come to look for her, probably doesn't even know that she has a superpower at all, and that's sort of where she's at. So we'll have to see how things develop with her. Not very much going on there right now. Allison, she seems like she's the happiest out of our group. She's happily married and seems like she is helping out with the civil rights movement, which is about to happen in the United States. Not in real life, but in the past, okay? These are two separate timelines. And that's sort of where she is. And it's kind of an interesting little dynamic because, Luther kind of has a thing for Allison, and there she is. First shot we see of her is her happily married. We might as well go right on to Luther. Luther is just a thug. We see him in a pit fight, fighting for money. Then he wins his big stack of cash, directly hands it off to his boss. He's just like he's the goon in the mob. Five does track Luther down, and Luther wants nothing to do with him. And I feel like we've seen this attitude in the past, so I'm sure Luther will come on board at some point in time, but that's where he is at right now. One of my favorite characters from this first episode was Diego. I kind of liked his story. We see him come back in time, immediately save some lady who's having her purse stolen, and then we don't really see him again until we're in a group therapy session in a mental institution. And this first episode, Diego is trying to escape from the institution, and at the very end, he is successful, but not after those creepy dudes with the bad wigs come to hunt him down. Lastly, we have Klaus and Benny. They're kind of vagabonds wandering around. It looks like they're on their way back to Dallas, and it seems like they're kind of beefing with each other a little bit. We have the scene of them fighting on the road because Benny told Klaus that the car was going to break down. Of course, he didn't listen. And then we transition to them fighting to later on. Klaus is in the poker game, and Benny is giving him bad advice so that Klaus loses. And then Benny and Klaus steal a truck, and they're on the run. So everyone's slowly converging here. We're going to see everybody come together at some point in this season. We're maybe going to see them save the world. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe they just almost save the world and get transported back in time to another time period. Don't really know. My biggest complaint from the first episode, the sound levels are atrocious. When any sort of music or explosion or special effects kick in, it's deafening. And then we go to the talking scenes, and you're thinking you got to turn the volume up to hear what everyone's saying, and then some music cuts in, and then you're deaf for life. So I don't know what's going on there. This is one of Gerard Way's creations, and he's the lead singer for My Chemical Romance. So maybe music is just super important to him, and he thinks the best way to give music to the masses is as loud as humanly possible. The only explanation I could come up with, but I hope that was a one-off in the first episode, because I would like to just have a consistent volume throughout the episode, not all of a sudden just diving for cover when an explosion goes off. All right, that's it for episode 1. I will be back soon for episode 2, and until then, we will see you later.